Well,
God damn it.
way to start. Good job.
All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spooky Podcast number 6. We broke the second hand. We broke into the second hand. We're on podcast number 6.
We've broken 2 hands now.
We've broken both of our hands.
We're on the run from the law for
Exactly.
breaking hands. Like we break hearts.
Nailed it. So, this is Spooky Podcast number 6. We have new microphones, a new camera. Hope it all looks fantastic. It sure does on our end. So you should say yes.
Say yes to the dress.
Nailed it. So, today we are going to be talking about the Silent Twins. It sounds familiar. Like, I feel like I've heard them before. I've heard of them, but I don't know the actual story. So that's who we're going to be talking about today. This is the Under the Cushions podcast, the Silent Twins. My name is Jordan, and this is my co-host, Vyacheslav Grinko. And she is going to be taking us on a tale this evening. White noise is not the best noise.
We have white noise?
Probably.
Should I put this away from me?
That's not going to help. It's fine.
Oh, well, I'm trying. Making efforts. All right,
We could pass this microphone back and forth if you want to do
just
that.
steal the mic.
When I need to say, like, haha.
I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce had the best music video.
I thought it was album.
One of those.
All right, go on. Tell us your tale.
Topical. The only thing I really have to say about this story is that they're twins. Be quiet all the time. I creeped everyone out. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been the Silent Twins.
Anyway, away from keyboard, I don't like history. Thanks, Lifeless. It's not history. You're going to be history. Okay.
Gone. Take me on a journey.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly.
Is that what it involves?
My body's too delicious for you.
Is that what it involves?
I mean, maybe. We're going to find out. Also, I wrote all of this. You saw me writing it when I had a horrible headache. I just got home from work. So, bear with me. It's probably a mess. I can't even read my own writing on the front page.
Do your best interpretation.
Whew. Okay, so this is about the Silent Twins. And their names were June and Jennifer Gibbons. Okay? So they were originally born on April 4th, 1963, in Barbados.
Barbados?
Barbados. Okay. Down that way. Yonder.
Okay.
Johnny Depp's down there. All right. So their parents, Gloria and Aubrey, and I have a picture of them as cute little girls doing the thing. So cute. Okay. They look happy there. Get ready for misery. Okay. So their parents, Gloria and Aubrey, moved to Wales soon after their birth. Their mom was a housewife, and their father was an Air Force technician, so he moved around a lot. They moved houses a lot. They moved locations, so they were moving around quite a bit as children. They were initially described as inseparable, and people found it hard to understand their quick Creole accents and stuff because they would talk really fast. So when they moved to the town, what is called Haverfordwest, Wales. Nice. Should have another image in there of them as young girls. Town Haverfordwest in Wales was mostly white, and because of this, the girls experienced a lot of bullying and stuff for their skin color. Not to mention, they had made a pact at the age of like 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there,
Right.
that they would not speak to anyone.
Really?
Except themselves.
They were just like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, so the only people that they had a pact with each other that they would only communicate with themselves and with their younger sister, Rosie. Let me to pause.
No, go for it.
Okay. I see you fiddling with stuff.
No, I'm just trying to get rid of some of the white noise. You're good.
Okay. So they experienced a lot of bullying growing up, a lot of racial discrimination, not to mention they refused to communicate or socialize with anybody except each other. So, of course, they got, bullied for that as well. The school administration often had to dismiss them at least 5 to 10 minutes early so that they could avoid being bullied on the way out of school. So, every day they were released early so that they wouldn't be bullied.
Jesus.
Because it was pretty severe. So they refused Are we good?
Yep, we're good. Keep
Okay.
going.
They refused to speak to anyone but each other, and they soon developed, quote unquote, their own language, which was described as being quick and bird-like.
Like they were chirping at each other?
Yeah, they'd essentially chirp at each other.
That's weird.
They made their own language, which is commonly referred to as it's something called cryptophasia. When I'm researching that, because it's a big word, I was like, what is that? So 50% of young twins often have their own language, which is described as cryptophasia.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that
Wait, really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that the percentage was so high. But 50% of twins, especially identical twins like they are, when they're very young, they have their own language or their own like specifications and stuff, their own way of communicating with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Most twins grow out of it. Just as an FYI. The cat's here. Like I said before, the only other person that they spoke to was their younger sister, Rosie, or Rose.
Yeah.
And then themselves. And Helen. You little hoe.
Go on. Dumpster, are you okay?
He's got the sneezes.
Are you okay? This is going swimmingly.
I'm worried.
Yeah, what's going on?
I seriously think that cat has allergies. Okay, anyway.
Oh my god.
Yes, cat show.
Jesus.
Okay, so the twins, like I said, only spoke to their younger sister, Rosie. They had their own language with each other.
Dumpster, are you okay? Okay, I guess she wants to join in.
Waiting for her to get comfortable because I don't want to. Okay, professionals. That's what we are.
Quality.
Take a picture of now.
You try to put together a quality program. Oh my god, I like how she uses her real name. This is going all over YouTube. Oh, there's her age too, by the way. Oh no, it's not. You're 22.
But she's feeling 22. Okay.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we're professionals. I'm going to get back to it. So.
So, go on. So twins, they talk to each other, and 50% of them.
50% of all young twins have their own language developed at some point,
Okay.
but they generally grow out of it and they move along. So, they were also described as having simultaneous actions, and they would like walk in time with each other perfectly. So like one would lead and the other one would follow step by step, essentially. Mm-hmm. And then like if people would like look at them, they would like freeze whatever they were doing. Like it was really weird. Like they did everything like completely together
Really
as
strange.
like one being. It was really freaking weird. They remind me of the twins that you see in The Shining.
Oh yeah.
You know, that are down the hallway and looking hella
But they
weird.
were still alive.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay, so at 14, they were forced to separate by therapists. So their parents were like, hey, you need to talk to people and, you know, do stuff other than be fucking weird. So the therapists encouraged the parents to separate them first to different classrooms and then to separate boarding schools to encourage interaction, communication, and social skills.
Mm-hmm.
When this happened, they became more withdrawn from each other and from everyone else, and they entered, quote-unquote, a catatonic state when separated.
That's really weird.
So they would just, like...
They would just freeze up, and they're just like, I'm done.
Yeah, they would be like, ugh, and then, like, not do anything.
You know, before you go on, you know what it reminds me of right now?
What?
Those other twins, that did literally everything together, and they tried to...
Kill somebody?
Well, no, they would, like, talk, and they would try to, like, say things at the same time, but you could tell that they were just trying like really hard to make it happen and that they couldn't really line it up properly.
Well,
you ever heard of them?
No.
I don't remember what their names are. I'll show them to you after the thing.
Why don't you come with this information prepared?
Well, because I didn't know what it was going to be about. I didn't know it was going to be like that. They could have just been demon twins.
I mean, I think all twins are demons. That's them.
There you go.
Right. So they would enter catatonic states when they were separated. I have another picture. Most of the pictures I have are of them. So there were like quite a few pictures of them. I believe that was Jennifer. So when reunited, when they were finally reunited after being separated to different schools and stuff, they began to isolate themselves in their room, and they began writing. The first thing that they did was they would write plays and short stories, and they would like act them out with dolls, and then they would act them out with each other and for each other and everything else. They would write these elaborate plays and short stories and poems. They would record tapes of themselves talking about poetry, and yeah, I have another picture, which is June. They look miserable.
They look absolutely miserable in those
miserable.
pictures.
So they would record tapes of themselves, like reading their stories or performing plays for their younger sister, Rose.
Yeah.
Around this time, they received a gift of red diaries with locked keys for Christmas. It was a Christmas gift. At this point, their creative writing really took off. So the next little bit of this is me talking about their writing.
I was going to say, were you going to go into it? Did they talk about anything that you...
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I've got some exact quotes, so be prepared for that.
Here we go.
But first things first, we're going to talk about some of the short stories that they wrote, because what they really wanted to do is they wanted to write short stories and plays, and they wanted to, get known for it and become famous. So the first one was written by June, and I have a cover. This is a cover. You can actually buy this book. I think it's really rare to find, but you can find it. It was self-published. It was called The Pepsi Cola Addict, and this was by June. It is about a high schooler who is seduced by his teacher. He is then sent away to reformatory school, where a male guard tries to sleep with him and come on to him.
Weird.
They were like 16, I think, when they wrote this or something like that.
That's very weird.
The next one, the Pugilist, P-U-G-I-L.
Pugilist?
Pugilist, yeah. Pugilist.
Close enough. Maybe it's about dogs.
By Jennifer. This one is about a doctor who is desperate to save his daughter, and in doing so, he kills the family dog for its heart to transplant it. So he saves his daughter's life, and the dog's spirit lives on in the daughter, and eventually gets its brutal revenge on the doctor.
What?
Okay. There was also a story called Discomania by Jennifer, who was basically about a local disco that incites insane violence in its patrons.
The disco.
Yeah.
Incites
just
violence.
like the music incites violence in them. And it's like, apparently the story is like really violent and bloody and gory and awful.
Jesus. Are there still copies of these like available?
I couldn't find anything about Discomania or the other one, but I did find Pepsi Cola Addict. You can find a PDF of it, I think. Because like I said, it was self-published. So, let's get into some of the quotes out of their diaries, because they would also keep diaries. This is from June. You ready?
Yep.
Nobody suffers the way that I do, not with a sister. With a husband, yes. With a wife, yes. With a child, yes. But with this sister of mine, a dark shadow robbing me of sunlight is my one and only torment.
That's weird. Wait. That's about her sister? So, like, she was like, my sister's nuts and haunting me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
God. You ready?
Oh my God.
It was noted that Jennifer saw June as better in every way. More beautiful, more talented, etc., etc., etc. June was 10 minutes older than her. Okay? Because Jennifer thought June was better than her, June also sensed this envy. And she's quoted saying in her diary, "She wants us to be equal. There is a murderous gleam in her eye. Dear Lord, I am scared of her. She is not normal. Someone is driving her insane. It is me."
Wow. That's okay. Unsettling to say the least.
This is a really long quote too. I really wanted to include these quotes. These are from their diaries.
Is this from June as well?
This is from Jennifer.
Okay.
Jennifer was the younger one who kind of envied her. Okay, so Jennifer says, so sneezy. Jennifer says, "We have become fatal enemies in each other's eyes. We feel the irritating, deadly rays come out of our bodies, stinging each other's skin. I say to myself, Can I get rid of my own shadow? Possible or not possible? Without my shadow, would I die? Without my shadow, would I gain life, be free, or be left to die? Without my shadow, which I identify with a face of misery, deception, murder.
That's creepy. It's almost like it's almost like there's a I don't even know. I don't even know.
Like a what?
I don't know. I was just. It feels like because they spend so much time together, it's kind of gone poorly for them.
We're gonna get into that later.
Are we?
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about it. So they went on to try and sell their short stories and novels. They didn't make any. Nobody wanted them. Essentially, at that point, like they couldn't sell anything. They couldn't get anyone to read their works. The one book that they did get published, The Pepsi Cola Addict, was a self-published thing.
When did they publish, or what years does this take place?
They were born in '64.
Okay. Did they know when the publication date on the book was by any chance?
I didn't look up that.
Okay.
So. Okay, so about this time, this is like their late teens. They were introduced to weed and alcohol. They started hanging out sort of with the wrong crowd. It was noted that they lost their virginity to the same boy 1 week apart. I believe Jennifer lost her virginity to this boy, and then June followed. It was an American soldier of some sort that was staying there, and they fell in love with him, or that's something along those lines. These guys that they were started hanging out with also these are the ones that introduced them to like smoking weed and drinking a lot and like really like going out there. It should also be noted that this is around the time that they started physically hurting each other.
Like how?
Well, one thing said that Jennifer tried to strangle June with a radio cord, and soon after, June tried to drown Jennifer in the river.
Jesus.
But they were known to like casually try to choke each other and like.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, they like.
It's choking day.
There wasn't like a lot of details about how they physically harmed each other, but it was apparently pretty common that they would try to like hurt each other. But still, at this point, they are only talking to each other. They're still not talking to anybody else. And it's at one point like the therapist like set up cameras, like hidden cameras, and like when it was just them, they would like laugh and joke and cut up with each other. But when other people were like around or whatever, they were like stone faced and they didn't say anything and they didn't like.
That's so strange.
It was like selective mutism.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also made a pact that they would not stay around their family. They wouldn't be in the same room as their family if they could help it. Like they really isolated themselves the older they got. So this is still their late teens. They're getting into drinking alcohol. They're hurting each other. They're all over the place. You know? At this point, they also move on to petty theft. So they start breaking and entering, stealing stuff. When that doesn't quite get them, I guess, the attention they were looking for, they ended up going on a 5-week crime spree. Essentially.
What? That came out of left field.
I mean, yeah, so they started like they went on this like 5-week crime spree. Where they at first it was just like petty theft and burglary and robbing like houses and stuff. But then they started to like burn stuff down, like houses and
just
community colleges and stuff.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
They burned down an entire community college.
Well, no, they tried to burn down like the local technical college, and they also tried to burn down.
How far did they get?
I just know that like I was reading about one of the arsons that they caused, and it was like $20,000 worth of damage, and like a fireman got like seriously injured.
Wait, but they were caught.
I mean, they were arrested after this 5-week crime spree.
Oh. Okay.
But it was the arsons that really are the ones that got them in trouble, obviously. So because of the arson and quote unquote their severe social disorders.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I wasn't laughing.
You're looking over there.
No, I was listening, dude.
There are demons.
Oh my god.
In the house.
Go on.
Okay. So because of the arson and their severe social disorders, the judge seemed to think that it was grounds for confinement into Broadmoor Hospital. Got a picture of that. It looks like a terrifying place.
Well, I've heard of that though.
Oh yeah.
Isn't Broadmoor like?
We're gonna get into that.
Ultra like famous.
Oh yeah.
Why does that name sounds really
Because
familiar?
because it is a high security mental facility, and it would like house like gangsters and like murderers and like hardcore people. These girls were the youngest kids there.
Really?
They were teenagers.
Wow.
Um,
It's a hospital for the criminally insane?
Criminally insane, yeah,
Okay.
essentially. Because it's a high security, like
Okay.
crazy. June later says that juvenile delinquents normally only serve 2 years. They spent 14.
They spent 14 years?
And they still weren't talking.
That's I mean, I'm impressed. I mean, I'm going to go with impressed. To not talk to anybody but each other for
14 years.
almost 30 years.
14 years. Now they ended up, and towards the end of it, they do end up talking to one woman who is a reporter, and we'll talk a little bit about that because the majority of the information that we have on them and like their diaries and stuff come from this reporter. She actually gets close to them and is able to earn their trust. And but she's like really one of the only people they talk to. But yeah, so for like the first like 11 to 14 years, they're just
That's insane. That's actually like insane.
Somewhere also described that like while they were in the prison or the hospital, I guess it's both. So while they were there, even though they were like 23, 24 or whatever, at some point, like they would act like 16-year-olds, like they were like developmentally injured almost. And that's interesting to note about one thing I forgot to mention. So the making your own language thing often occurs in twins that are developmentally delayed in some way.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
Most twins grow out of it, but obviously, you know.
Were they still using their own language
It
at
didn't
this
say,
age?
but I just know that they did have their own language, but I don't know. And they're still doing the whole, like, I'm going to walk where you walk, and I'm going to, like, completely, like, follow your lead sort of thing.
Okay, here's a good question before you go on. Was one more prominent, like, in the leading aspect than the other
They
one?
took turns.
Oh, really?
We'll talk more about that in a second. So I got a few more instances. So while they were in the hospital, they were actually placed on high doses of medications, antipsychotics or whatever. They were described as geniuses. They tests and stuff, and they were like off the charts, like really intelligent. But the medications made them unable to concentrate, and they suffered a lot of problems because of those. They stopped writing altogether. Eventually, their medications were reduced to a limit where they could still keep diaries, but they didn't creatively write anymore. There was no more poems or stories or anything else. Jennifer, because of these, because of the medicines, so Jennifer developed something called tardive dysphagia, which is
I'm not even gonna try to like help you with that one.
part of it is because I had that headache and I was like dying, and I was like, I can't even spell it correctly. I'm just like, ugh. But it's described as involuntary repetitive movements, possibly due to the meds. So she would just like twitch randomly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's okay.
That was Jennifer.
The other one didn't have the reaction?
Yeah.
No?
Jennifer and June, the twins, they actually would do things such as take turns eating by the day to punish each other. It should also be noted at this point they're in separate cells, so they don't communicate at all.
Why would that?
But like one day, one of them would eat, and the other one would starve herself, and then like the next day, one would eat, the other one would eat, and then the other one would starve herself.
That's really strange. Like without them knowing?
Yeah. Oh wait, it gets better.
Oh my god, dude. Does it get better? Because I'm starting to get worried.
So they were split up and they were housed in completely separate sides of the hospital, like in separate cells and stuff. Nurses reported finding them in frozen catatonic states in the same bizarre poses. So like, yeah. Yeah. So they would be like, it wasn't just like, oh, she was facing the wall and so was she. You know, it was like weird positions that like, there's no way. Yeah,
like,
and they'd be like
going to know?
In a frozen catatonic state.
It's weird. Imagine if they were quadruplets. And they were just like in these really weird poses, you know?
Why? I hate you.
Go on.
So after 14 years in Broadmoor, they finally got permission to basically move from the high security prison to something called the Caswell Clinic, which is a low security. I have some pictures of them too if you want to switch over to that. I think this is, yeah. the lady that you see in the background is the reporter
Mm-hmm.
who gets to know them later. So they get permission to move to the Caswell Clinic. And here we go. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm fully ready.
They were transported together in the same van, essentially. All this.
Oh my god.
So upon arriving to the Caswell Clinic, Jennifer was unresponsive.
Okay.
Did
they take the same bus?
Yeah, they were in the same van. Yeah,
okay.
the same van, bus, whatever. They were rushed. She was rushed to the hospital and pronounced dead from acute myocarditis. Something
Sure.
like those lines.
Sounds good.
Basically, it is a sudden and lethal inflammation of the heart.
Oh, that's okay. That's pretty terrifying.
They reported that there was nothing in her system, no drugs, no alcohol, no reason at all. It was just sudden.
Happened.
Yeah. Before the move, Jennifer had told this reporter, and there's another picture of her.
Okay.
Them, I guess. That's the reporter. Before the move, Jennifer had told the reporter, "I'm going to have to die." And the reporter asked, "What do you mean? Why?" And she said, "Because we decided."
What? What? Wait. Pause. Right there. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Let me see if we have any questions. That's
okay.
a good, because I need to digest some of that, because it's kind of throwing me off. Let's see. Is this a true story? Yes, it is.
Yes,
It is 100% a true story. It started in the 60s. We're up to, about the 90s now?
This is
late 80s?
This is 1993.
Okay, so we're in the early 90s.
It should also be noted there is a documentary, and you can still read all the reports and stuff from this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep, continue.
Okay. So, Jennifer's dead.
Jennifer's
dead.
She's
dead. Like suddenly her heart exploded. It was a sudden inflammation of the heart. Her heart basically caught on fire and she died, just randomly.
Okay. Go on.
June had said that when they were in the van, Jennifer had sat her head on her shoulder and said, "At long last, we're out," and then immediately died.
What?
Yeah.
Like in the van?
Yeah.
Wait, was this 5 minutes later?
Yeah, 5 minutes later, she took her last breath and died.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So Jennifer's headstone was originally written by June. She wrote a poem.
Let's hear the poem.
It's very short. It says, "We once were two, we two made one, we no more two, through life be one, rest in peace." And I have one last picture, and it is of June after Jennifer has died. It's June. June was reported to be in a very, very good mood the following days following her sister's death. And when asked, she only responded, "I'm free at last, liberated, and at last Jennifer has given up her life for me."
But Jesus.
That's the story of the silent.
Oh my god.
So, June is still alive.
Oh, she is?
She hangs out in Wells. She is not a recluse, but she does stay to herself. She has her own apartment. She hangs out. She has no problems. There's been nothing weird reported. She worked at a thrift store, and now she spends her time, she helps their mother clean houses. Money. Lives a very normal life. She never got married, never had children. Though right after her sister died, she reported that she wanted to marry a man like Bob Marley.
There you go.
But she never got married, never had kids. She lives a normal life in Wales.
She's still alive?
Mm-hmm. She is 54 years old.
That's insane, actually.
It's the story of the silent twins.
Oh my god! I don't like it! What?
Twins make me uncomfortable. A lot.
I wish I knew the names of those other twins that they did everything together. And they tried to even talk after one another, say the same things at the same time, but you could tell that they were obviously trying really, really hard.
Yeah.
But that is on a different level.
Yeah, and the thing is, when I was first reading about it, my first instinct was that, well, maybe there was some sort of trauma in their childhood and there's something mentally wrong.
Yeah.
But they actually have older brothers and sisters, and then like a younger sister who are all completely normal.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
there's like an entire family. It's not just like.
Oh
them.
no, it's like they have an older sister, Greta, I think it was, who like wanted to like sue Broadmoor for keeping them for 14 years when they probably shouldn't have.
That's a really long time.
Yeah, and because remember, juveniles, they said originally normally only get about 2 years.
Why would they so?
And
Was it because of
they
the way
think
that
they
they
were
acted?
being they think that they were being discriminated against because they refused to speak to anybody.
I mean, that's understandable though.
When the reporter actually heard about their story and wanted to get to know them more, she finally got permission to like talk to them and stuff, and they the hospital staff brought the twins into the room to meet with her, and they refused to meet with her, and they like had to be like carried in because they wouldn't walk, and they were just like stone faced, like catatonic. And it wasn't until the reporter kept like asking them about their creative writing stories and like their poems and stuff, and kept going and going and going about their writing that they finally like gradually opened up and like came to trust her.
Weird. I wonder why. Like, why her? You know what I mean?
I have no idea.
It's just, I don't know. It just kind of blows my mind.
It's a weird one. It's not so much a mystery. Although Jennifer's death is still ruled a mystery because they have literally no idea where it came from.
Yeah, like
June reported that Jennifer had said like the day before she died, she was acting kind of strange, like her speech was really slurred and stuff, but like there was nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
She just was like, I'm done. No.
Just decided that it was time. It's like 29, 31 years.
That's insane. That's so crazy. Like, I don't even know how to like wrap my head around that.
It was weird. I remember when I first read about it, I was like, yeah, it's weird because it's not like the ones that we've done previously, which are mostly like murders and stuff. It's just like a weird, bizarre thing of life.
What about her? What about her parents? What about her parents?
What about them?
How did they feel about the whole situation? Like, were they just
Well,
like they're just kids? Like, let's just let them be, and we'll just like.
Well, they
go
said
with it?
what I read said that the mother was a little uncomfortable at first because when they were young, you know, they didn't talk to anybody. It was kind of weird, you know.
Yeah.
They were said that they didn't even make full sentences until they were 3, if that. But the mother, they had another baby, Rose, like right after them, so she really didn't have time to pay attention to them, I guess.
Oh, really?
And they did give them like therapy and stuff, so they like got them in to see therapists and try to talk to people and figure out what was going on, and they tried to separate them. June reports, because she still has done interviews in like recent time, like as late as like 2008 was the last one that I saw. She admitted that, you know, it started out as like a game for them to like make this pact that they weren't going to talk to anybody else and that they would make their own language, and it was kind of fun. And then she said that they just kept going and they just couldn't stop, and it was like they were trapped.
That's so weird, dude. Mm-hmm. I guess the thing about it too, it feels almost like it was like supernatural, kind of holding them together into their thing.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, they would write. One thing that the reporter also notes is like, so while they were in prison, they had diaries. They kept writing. You know, they would write 2,000 to 3,000 words a day.
Wow.
in these diaries, just going for it. And
About
even this, that, and everything, but like even though they were like separate, like their diaries wouldn't be identical, but they would talk about like similar things on the same day,
that's
and like
creepy.
Really weird stuff. So they had like this really intense connection, but they resented each other for it almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the strangest thing about it. I think, like they made it and it was all good in the beginning, but then they grew to resent it after a while.
Yeah.
And but it's almost like neither of them wanted to do anything about it.
Well, the way that June describes it is they wanted to get out of it, but they felt like they were trapped in it, and the more that they kept doing it, the deeper they got into it.
But I wonder why. Like, did she ever? Do you know if she ever explained why she felt that way? Like,
no, she said it was like, I mean, the way that I understood it is like June seemed to have a lot more clarity after Jennifer's death, and it was sort of like a fog had been lifted.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Like, they were just very strange girls. Like, I could go, because there you can still find, like I said, you can find like all the articles from the reporter. There's been plays. There's been a couple different documentaries called The Silent Twins, all about them. That goes more into detail. That's where, like, do you remember earlier when I was like, hold on, I found more stuff? Like, because I found an article and I was like finding like little like tidbits that I hadn't read yet.
Oh my god. You know, it's interesting too about like twins and all that, how a lot of people think that twins have a connection, like an otherworldly connection, I guess you could say.
It is really bizarre. They're very troubled kids, and I don't. That's the thing too. Like, even the mom, even like the parents were kind of like, I don't know why. Like,
yeah, it's not like they didn't have like a bad home life.
Like, and none of the other kids reported anything either. Like, the other kids were like, I don't know. Like, everything's perfectly.
Were they the youngest? Were they the youngest?
No, they had one sister younger than them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was Rose, the one that they talked to.
Blowing my mind.
It makes me uncomfortable.
It should.
Twins creep me out a lot.
It should make you uncomfortable, because it is uncomfortable.
It's, yeah, I mean, the only thing that I saw that could have been kind of, I guess, traumatic for them was, like, bullying. They got bullied a lot.
Yeah. That's not a real, but they weren't talking before that.
No, exactly. They were, yeah, up until, like, when they started talking, that's when they made a pact.
Yeah.
And June will comment and be like, yeah, we made a pact, like, decided, like, it was a decision that we made that we wouldn't talk to anybody else, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And then they just couldn't stop.
Weird.
But she talks to other people now, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
she does interviews and she chats with people and she writes letters. And, like, when they were in prison, once they made friends with that reporter, they would write letters back and forth to her and, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does she do? Is she like a narrator?
Oh,
Just,
June?
like, rude to the public?
June?
Yeah.
No, June, like I said, she cleans houses.
Oh.
She worked in a thrift store. She keeps to herself. She's very quiet and kind of... She lives alone in, like, a little apartment. She worked in a thrift store, and now she cleans houses on Mondays with her mom.
Mondays.
Yeah.
A classic day. It's a good day to clean.
Make sure I got everything.
I was going to say, any last comments? Concerns?
I kind of want to read Pepsi Cola Addict by her.
How long is it?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just found I didn't even know that it was like actually published. I thought it was just like a name of a story they had written in like a diary. Until I googled the image and like you can find it. Like
it's like a legit.
It's like a legit thing that got self-published. It's rare, but you can find it.
Wow. I want to know what their other creative writing is like. If that's the one that they self-published, like what are the ones that they didn't get self-published like, or why did they choose that one out of?
Apparently a lot, because they wrote a lot. So apparently, like, you know, like all of their stories were like very violent, very graphic, very gory.
Oh, all of them.
All of them, and they all like explored topics that a 15-year-old probably shouldn't write about.
Like what?
Well, like, I don't know. Like they talk about having an
murder.
affair, like murder and having an affair with your teacher, and like killing a dog and replacing the heart of your daughter, and then the dog kills you.
That's really, that's
very specific.
That's on another level, man.
It also seemed to me, if I remember correctly, June had written like a story that had done really well. I want to say it was Pepsi. Yeah, so she wrote Pepsi Cola Addict, and it went pretty well. Like she felt good about it. To which Jennifer replied by writing 3 stories.
Jesus.
Because she wanted to, I guess, show her up in a way. Like,
that's insane.
Yeah. They were constantly, like, going back and forth.
Like it's like a constant competition.
Oh,
almost.
Constantly.
I mean, you said that the one felt lesser because
Jennifer saw June as better in every way. More beautiful, more talented. She always wanted to be more like her. When June lost her virginity to that guy, Jennifer went a week later and lost her virginity to the same guy. Like,
yeah.
It's intense. That's sibling rivalry, guys.
To an extreme.
Oh, yeah.
Well, any comments, any closing comments before we wrap it up? Anything else? Anything else?
Just like, yeah. See, and the thing about this story, though, is like there's not really anything to like debate as far as like theories. It's just fucking weird.
It's just very
They're
weird.
very strange.
Well, I think we're going to close it out on that one. This was the
Silent Twins.
The Silent Twins, the Under the Cushions podcast, episode number 6.
We're up to 6, guys. Why did you do it on 2 different hands?
Because it's cooler like that, dude. It's like saying double OK, but also
it's like you're throwing up gang symbols.
And you can
We're gonna
wear,
get
like,
shot.
glasses,
It's gonna
too.
kill us. We're gonna die.
Probably not. Anyways, so this was episode number 6 of the Under the Cushions podcast,
Yep.
The Silent Twins. Hope you guys enjoyed that. This video will be uploaded onto YouTube within a couple days.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Assuming everything goes according to plan.
Yep. So, do you have any idea what we're going to be doing next week?
I have not a clue.
Nailed it. All right,
I never
then.
have anything ready until a couple of days before.
Perfect.
I am an adult.
Keeps it fresh to you and to us and everybody else. Cool. Well, thank you guys for watching. There are links to the YouTube down in the video description. Also, the bot posted a little bit earlier. And I'll do it in chat right now just because, so you guys know where to find the uploads, the VODs, they say. Boom! The VODs, the videos on demand, which means if you demand it, you can watch it. It's perfect. There's a lot of things blinking on my computer. Anyways, let's close it out. Thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys next week. Thursday, I think. Right?
We're gonna be
in moving.
We're gonna be moving.
Oh well, whatever. We'll do it renegade style.
We'll just be sitting in the middle of like a floor.
Gorilla style.
We might not have the couch next week.
May not have the couch. Anyways, bye, friends.
Have a good night, guys. Forget spooky music this time.
Oh my God, spooky music! It's not ready. I closed out this thing.
Did you close it again?
Oh, I hit stop streaming. Oh. Oops. I don't know what I'm doing. Meant to go to music. Well, deal with it, I guess.